We recording?
Yeah.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. And whoever shall be found without us the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. The foulest stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller. It's Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. This is Dissonant Waves. We're doing something a little bit different today. Callum's not here, so it's just Trix and I running the show.
Yeah, we watched some movies.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
One of them is musical.
Yeah.
So it kind of counts.
Yeah.
But before we do that, though, you said you want to talk about some music you listen to?
Yeah, I've been just listening to like the spooky, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Sometimes I'll listen to spooky stuff. I don't know. It just when the mood strikes me.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of stuff like The Frights.
Oh.
I love their self-titled album. They had a bunch of controversy with the Burger Records.
Yeah.
But The Frights is just like the perfect, like kind of creepy, but like it's just a good surf punk album that has like a vibe. And same thing with the Growlers. I put Chinese Fountain on and Hung at Heart.
They were really hung at heart, weren't they?
Oh, apparently so. Also stuff like Jay Mascis's stoner rock band. One sec. Inhaled some chicken nugget. Jay Mascis's stoner rock band, which I'm surprised we haven't touched on Jay Mascis at all, considering Callum and I tasted.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
He's a guitar player for Dinosaur Jr.
Oh, I know Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah.
Probably would know the name if I saw it spelled out.
But I think I mentioned him in an episode already because I know that Lily of Beach Bunny plays a Jay Mascis jazz master.
Like literally the same guitar, or literally the same guitar?
His signature model guitar.
Hmm.
The Squire J. Mascis Jazz Master is one of like the best Squires on the market, and
Okay.
people gig with them and mob them and all that sort of stuff.
I didn't know Dinosaur Jr. was that well known, honestly.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
I've listened to some of their stuff and I like it. I just never realized.
Yeah, but like Jay Mascis plays drums in Witch, and it's a real good stoner band.
Like Dope Smoker?
It's lighter, if that makes sense. Not as heavy. And also the Bomboras and fucking Man or Astro Man.
I think we should still cover at some point.
Yep.
I'm listening to some Health, as always. I still want to do more Health albums because their stuff is so good. Oh, man.
Well, I did send you that the bass player playing the acoustic bass.
Yeah. He was playing something from the first album, I'm pretty sure. One that we actually did cover.
Yeah.
But their sound is so different from that. Their sound is so much more, I think, just kind of, not horrorcore, but it fits, I think, kind of the frightening scene sorts.
Definitely.
Like, I think you listened to some of the new stuff, right?
Not really. I've listened to like the not Mad Max.
Max Payne. Well, the Max Payne soundtrack is so good.
And some of Grand Theft Auto 5.
The Max Payne 3 soundtrack is so good. I'm so glad they did it. Because that was so rare, especially back then. Like, let's have a band record a whole game soundtrack.
Yeah, you see it a bit more now, but
especially one that was relatively unknown, like Health.
Yeah.
Like they had some notice, but like amazing.
Like what other bands have done that? Like I know Steve Wilson of Porcupine Tree did a game
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Couple others I know. I don't remember who. Like, oh, I mean,
Low Roar.
Stuart Copeland did Spyro.
Oh yeah, Stuart Copeland. Um, Low Roar, the Death Stranding band.
I mean, that was more. Yeah, I think did they make some new tracks for that. I think they might have made new tracks for that.
I think so. I don't know. You got to talk about Bob Mothra or whatever his name.
I don't know who that is.
The fucking Devo guy.
Oh, Mark Mothersbaugh.
Yeah, I was close, but he did like The Sims and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm Adam Freeland, of course, being a breakbeat DJ.
Yep.
He's done some stuff that is really cool. But even then, a lot of that stuff is like a few tracks here and there. I don't think it's usually is the whole thing. But like Health doing Max Payne 3, their music is like 95% of it. But we'll get to them eventually. I've also been listening to Britney Spears. Oh, that's nothing to do with being scary. I've just been on a Britney kick again.
Have you heard of the whole conspiracy that like she's not in control of anything? And that
oh yeah, I kind of believe it. Like I'm not gonna be like a hardcore thing about it, but like I see it. Like the way fans have like broken down, where someone says, wear yellow if you need help or something like that, and then she'll wear yellow in the next video, or blink twice here if something is wrong, and she'll do it. Like there's just
there was a podcast I listened to, Mystery Show. And one of the episodes was like trying to track down Britney to try and ask her a question, and it ended up having to pay for like a meet and greet with Britney to ask her said question.
Wow. I was just reading a Twitter thread like months ago that just went into like everything about it. And I think a lot of it probably goes back to the whole head shaving thing years ago.
Yeah.
Which, like, looking back, was not that big of a deal, and I hate that tabloid Hollywood was so fucking prevalent back then.
That's just the early 2000s for you.
It was so trashy.
Oh yeah.
Like that and Anna Nicole Smith and American Idol. I'm so glad we're beyond that now. Partially.
Yeah, now we just have Instagram.
And Trump.
Hopefully not for much longer.
Yeah, this is the last episode we record before the election.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, I guess.
That's the real scary shit.
Yeah, Halloween's just a prelude to more and more horror.
Yeah, and after this episode, I am just gonna put some Woody Guthrie on. Get in the socialism mood.
This Land Is Your Land?
Yeah, just all of his stuff is pretty like he has a song about an outlaw, and one of the lines is, "Some will rob you with a 6-gun, and some will rob you with a pen."
Nice. But yeah. You want to talk about these movies?
Yeah, let's talk about the movies. Let's start with I suppose the one we're most qualified to talk about.
Rocky Horror?
Yeah.
All right. Rocky Horror, I've seen live, like in the theater several times. I don't think it's as fun to watch. I don't think it's as fun to watch with other people sometimes because it can seem slow. But I enjoyed watching it by myself this time around.
Yeah, I noticed some things I didn't notice in my prior watching.
Yeah, like what?
I'd never noticed that the whole kind of crew up at the mansion is at the church.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before.
Tim Curry out of makeup.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I think today it was that they had like Wisconsin had like the Democratic Party had like a Rocky Horror reunion Zoom thing.
Yeah, and Fall Out Boy was playing too.
But Tim Curry was there doing some lines from Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad he was able to do that. I know he's really reclusive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always fun. What I found across all four of these movies actually was that they all had some really great like POV shots, especially Rocky Horror. Where, like the camera is moving like a human does, and like when they come up upon the lab in the beginning, and like it just kind of moves in like someone's walking, really gives like the whole thing like it feels real. It feels really real. which is nice.
Eddie's musical number comes to mind for that.
Hapatuti's great.
Hapatuti is great. And I did not come up with a bat out of hell joke, and I'm sad at myself.
I mean, that's basically what that's his whole scene. He's a bat out of hell, and then he gets chased and sent back.
And murdered.
And eaten.
Yeah.
There's like not a bad song in the soundtrack.
No, there's not.
But like, talk about
one of the things I noticed too was that Columbia at one point is wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Disney owns Rocky Horror.
Yeah. People say that Frankenfurter is a Disney princess, and that is completely wrong. Frankenfurter's a Disney queen.
All right.
Well, I think Frankenfurter dies at the end, so yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the spirit's there more.
Yeah, that whole movie is just a trip. There's aliens. We're aliens now.
Yeah, the best part about it is that all of everything, like the whole story, is in the lyrics.
Yeah.
Which, in your first watching it, you're not gonna know anything. Like, I remember watching this for the first time. I was like 13. I was with friends, and we were like looking for something to watch on Halloween, and it was like, oh, I heard of Rocky Horror. I've heard it's good. I don't know what it's about, so we just put it on, and we all had very different reactions. Like
that seems like a great way to sum up Rocky Horror Picture Show. We watched it with some friends, and everybody had different reactions.
I think there were two of us that were very into it. The other three were kind of just like varying levels of like not caring or just being weirded out by it. Which, I mean, I was the one who really dug it, and it turned out to be gay, so there's probably something about that.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is incredibly gay.
It is a queer icon. Like,
yeah,
it's very 70s. There's some stuff in it that doesn't age as well, but like it's kind of a given at this point.
Oh yeah.
And we could talk about the whole Frankenfurter forcing himself on people scenes.
Oh yeah, those were weird.
Like, kind of getting consent, but kind of not.
Well, it's not consent, even if it's like Revenge of the Nerds, how he's wearing the Darth Vader mask.
I've never seen Revenge of the Nerds.
Well, in Revenge of the Nerds, one of the nerds fucks one of the jocks' girlfriends while wearing his costume. So that she thinks that it's his boyfriend, and not the nerd. That's rape.
Right. I mean, in both cases in Rocky Horror, the wig is taken off and it's revealed to be Frank.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation.
Also, this might just be kind of me, but how could you mistake Susan Sarandon, Tim Curry for Susan Sarandon?
It's just a very good mimic. That's the alien thing about it,
Yeah. Aliens.
I will say I noticed this time around how very adorable and attractive Barry Bostwick is, especially without glasses.
Okay, this is something that I noticed with a couple of the movies. What is the thing about like taking glasses off to punctuate a point?
It's easy. I thought it was very funny when Brad did it. He's like, oh, I'm so mad, I'm gonna take off my glasses.
Because like if I take my glasses off, it looks like I'm just blind.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're nearsighted, not farsighted. I don't know.
I'm nearsighted as well.
Or they can see far but not near, I mean.
Yeah, because I have the issue of being legally blind, so I'm in a different boat.
Oh, shit, I did not know that.
Yeah, -7 in my left eye.
All right. Sorry.
I'm used to it at this point.
Yeah, no, I figured. Another thing, because all the movies we did are from the 70s and 60s, which is great.
Yeah.
Kind of a happy accident.
It's kind of the golden age of like horror and sci-fi.
It was nice seeing both an Alien and the Fox logo, the old one.
Yeah.
And my DVD for Rocky Horror had the fucking THX fucking blasting in your ears logo. Which is itself a scary fucking thing.
Yeah.
Also, I'm guessing you know what RKO is, right?
Sort of.
Because it's kind of like a thing in the movie about like they have like the giant radio tower in the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure of that.
Okay, RKO was an old movie company, kind of like the other
Gotcha.
big ones. It was like just another production company that went under, and so as Rocky Horror was spoofing science fiction of the 50s and 40s and 30s, which RKO put out a lot of. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, when is somebody gonna make that movie but for Fox now? Because Fox is no more.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, let's see. Brad is very adorable and attractive. I can see what Susan Sarandon sees in him.
The one of the things that stood out to me mostly because we're wearing a lot of face masks now,
Yeah.
but how shitty Magenta and Columbia's masks were.
Yeah.
Like you could see the scissor marks on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably harder to get them, and they probably were not the same as they are now.
Yeah.
I was also very taken by Frankenfurter having a pink triangle on his scrubs.
Yeah, I was noticing that because the pink triangle obviously being like the Nazi homosexual symbol.
And that ties into the Dr. Von Scott scene,
Yeah.
just implying that Dr. Scott's a Nazi, which he might be. He might have been.
Yeah, I never actually put that together.
Then it's like you think about it, it's like how long have these aliens been here then if they know all that?
Yeah.
We're like it's like in this way it's like we still don't actually know what their whole mission was. Was it just because it wasn't to build Rocky?
No.
That was just Frankenfurter's thing that kind of took over, and that's why everyone mutinied in the end.
Yeah. There's a
Like,
lot of questions about this movie and not a lot of answers.
which I'm okay with. I think it's
Yeah.
fun. Like, the thing I really like is that Brad and Janet come in and like the story is like 90% of the way done. Like,
Yeah.
like there's like in any other movie they'd be like the people just cutting in at, like with 20 minutes left to go,
Yeah.
and that's just like the whole premise is like they have to now learn about everything going on, and it makes for a lot of confusion and takes a lot of like multiple watchings to get it, but like I think it works. Like it's very cheesy, but it works.
I think once Richard O'Brien dies,
What?
we're gonna see a prequel come out.
Oh God.
I will put money on it right now. Putting that out into the ether.
Will we see it?
Richard O'Brien dies.
Here's the question: will we see a Back to the Future thing first or a Rocky Horror thing first?
A new Back to the Future or a new Rocky?
Because keep in mind we had the Rocky Horror live show thing.
Yeah.
I know Laverne Cox probably did well. I didn't see it, but
I don't know. That's a good one.
because they said they're not making Back to the Future any again or anything with it as long as the filmmakers are alive, which who knows how long that'll be.
Spielberg.
I mean more of Bob Gale and of Robert Zemeckis and all them.
True. Yeah, that's a good one. For some reason, I can see Richard O'Brien dying.
Yeah, I mean he's not been free of controversy as we kind of went over when he did Shock Treatment.
Yeah.
Some weird relationship with the trans community, despite I don't know, just like implying that he might not be cis entirely, but like
Saying super controversial shit.
yeah, I guess that's like an older generational thing at that point. I have no idea. Not excusable, but they just think differently at a certain point.
Yeah.
Something I did notice, I think I probably saw it before, but just like the whole thing where Frankenfurter is like doing all the fucking dials on Rocky's little like tank.
It's the rainbows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
incredibly
He's in
gay.
Reggie Biv order.
Yeah, I was reading behind the scenes that apparently it wasn't random, and off screen they're having somebody shout to him which one's the turn.
I can see that.
That's why he looks so panicked, I guess, because he doesn't know.
Yeah, and because if you look at the tank, it's got the rainbow spectrum.
Yep. And then like Rocky is born, and then it's like, oh, Rocky really prefers Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
You can't just make somebody gay. It's just an innate trait or not.
Yeah.
I was also reading about how, because there's a scene where Dr. Scott, because for whatever reason, A, there's a room of Zen which does not get covered except for that one shot where he's just in a smoking room. B, the entire floor is electromagnetized, so his wheelchair just comes up to the lab because they can do that.
Yeah.
And he just crashes through the wall because apparently they forgot to build a door. But
there's um there's also the whole question of the Medusaizer. How the hell does tongue tie? How the hell does that work? Medusaizer.
that's a good question. How does the Demedusa work then?
Yeah. And how does how do they get Dr. Scott to just walk again? Or move his legs at least?
It's alien magic. And what are your favorite songs?
Well, Time Warp is definitely up there. That's just a classic.
Yeah, Time Wars, which actually does nothing for the plot at all.
No, it's just like this is how weird everything is, and
Like
I can respect that.
it's a convention, which is the funny thing. It is like the natural Transylvanian convention or something, the annual Transylvanian convention or something like that.
Yeah.
And looking at it, it's like, yeah, this is what a convention seems like. It really does,
Yeah, they got con energy down.
which is amazing for the '70s.
Yeah. Yeah, Sweet Transvestite's always great. I Can Make You a Man. The whole album is just, or the whole soundtrack is just.
Yeah. One song I've come around to like a lot is "There's a Light."
There's a light
Over at the Frankenstein's place.
Yeah.
"Superheroes," which is the song that got cut from the U.S. version, is also very good.
Yeah. I didn't end up listening to that one. I should have gotten around.
I mean, like I can see kind of why they cut it. It's just kind of weirdly placed in the movie, but like they didn't need to cut it. Like it was literally like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
maybe a minute. Like just leave it in. Let's see other things that are fun. How Rocky sings but never speaks.
Yeah.
And everyone just understands him. Either way.
Yeah, and he comes out talking about what was the sword of
Sword of Damocles is hanging over his head.
yeah.
Well, I guess to be fair, half of the brain, or he has half a brain, and it's Eddie's brain. So
Yeah.
I guess Eddie knows all about that. The other thing that was fun was that they talk about how Frankenfurter was going after Eddie first.
Yeah.
Like
The I just looked up the sword of Damocles because I had not heard of it. It just means impending disaster.
yeah,
So he knew that his doom was incoming.
like there's a lot of like there's a big like tree of like people like getting together and having sex or not.
Yeah.
Because you got like Columbia and Eddie, Frank and Eddie. I think Frank and Columbia too.
Yeah.
And Frank and Rocky, Rocky and Janet, Janet and Brad, Brad and Frank, Janet and Frank.
If the Janet and Frank.
Well, we definitely know that Brad and Frank did it
Yeah.
because they were smoking at the end of that.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, though, that was the one that got interrupted by Rocky escaping. So I
They
think
still seem to finish all right though.
yeah. So I think I'm assuming Frank and Janet also went through then.
Well, the way that Janet acts when she sees Frank and Brad smoking, to say otherwise.
Right. I don't know. It could be just like a double standard thing
Yeah.
because he promised he's not going to tell either one, and it's being gay on top of that, the homosexuality part of it.
Yeah. Because it's the 70s or 60s, I think.
Yeah.
It takes place in October or something.
October of like 74 or August of 74 because they played the Nixon resignation speech.
Yeah, and he has it on tape because he's
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I was reading the IMDb page and
Either it's on tape or they're just repeating it on the radio. That's just what I always thought.
yeah.
I think that's the more logical explanation than it was taped. It was just on the radio again. What else?
The dummy that they used for Dead Eddie is kind of just laughably bad.
Really? I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
The one that's in like the coffin and the table.
Yeah.
I did appreciate Janet's weird arc of like opening up. Because like over one song she goes from like not being into muscles to being into muscles. Then later she may or may not have had sex with Frank, but then she definitely has sex with Rocky.
Yeah.
And she sings a whole song about it. Like, you know what? Go. Just go for it.
Yeah, they only show his corpse for like a minute. You can see why.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that's the smart thing to do. That's the smart thing to do. Oh yeah, the hand. I remember the hand. The hand is very bad.
Yeah.
Also, things to notice. There's a wedding and a funeral in the beginning.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a funny juxtaposition. How you have Columbia Magenta and Riff Raff preparing for a funeral.
Right. Here's the thing, though. After Rocky is born, they have Eddie's murder.
Yeah.
Parallels. It's juxtaposing the juxtaposition.
Was the "Make You a Man" that turns into the fucking wedding song? That
yeah.
The reprise or the
yeah. So I'll Make You a Man turns into the wedding song where Frank and Rocky kind of get married.
Yeah.
So there's a wedding there as well, technically. We really have like the whole cycle of life and death, which is, I guess, interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciated the love and hate tattoos on Meatloaf's hands.
That looked like they were done in ballpoint pen.
Because they probably were.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the OG meme of Janet, Dr. Scott, Janet, Brad, Rocky.
Yep.
Which I'm not going to...
Scott, Brad,
Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet!
Brad!
Rocky!
Also, I just want to say, Richard O'Brien plays a perfect...
Perfect.
Yeah, just as Riff Raff, he just had the sleaze down.
Oh, yeah. But it's his show, too.
Yeah.
I remember reading that. Apparently, he wanted to be Eddie. And the director was like, no, you can be Riff Raff.
And I think it worked out better.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Scott, when he's in his chair, when he's dancing into, I think it was the Eddie song. He does a Trump dance.
What's the Trump dance?
It's like kind of like pumping your arms back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Like being still otherwise.
From the day he was born.
Oh, God, I can't remember that. When Eddie said he didn't like his Teddy, you know he was a no good kid.
Yeah, that was the song Eddie.
Yeah. I just don't remember the next line after that.
Yeah, he was a thorn in his mother's backside.
Ah, yes. Anything else to say about Rocky Horror? I really enjoyed watching it again.
It's a good movie.
I mean, so you've never been to the live show, right?
No, I haven't. I was gonna go last year, night show. I was gonna go this year. COVID.
Okay. Yeah. I think because of COVID, it's the first time Rocky Horror has never been in theaters since it came out.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to think about. It's been in theaters for this long.
Yeah. They do a yearly showing on Halloween at my local theater.
And that's a 45-year streak that'll never be beaten.
Yeah.
Well, almost 45 years anyway. I think it's become like one of the top grossing movies of 1975.
Probably.
But I've been to the live show a few times, the Shadowcast, whatever you want to call it. I think I told this story before, but like one was really weird because I went to it and there was like this whole thing where the guy they had playing Rocky was like underage.
Yeah, you mentioned that. So like you couldn't touch him.
Right. He couldn't touch people. You couldn't touch him. But it was just like, yeah, like why is this a thing though?
Yeah.
This
Like,
is-
if you're gonna be doing Rocky Horror, they really should. Everybody should be of age.
yeah, I mean, like it's not like Perks of Being a Wallflower where you can get away with it because it's a movie.
Yeah.
This is like the thing about Rocky Horror is that the people who like Rocky Horror and who are not queer are very annoying.
Oh yeah, I went to high school.
Like the people who insist on doing all the callbacks and all the things when you do them during the Shadowcast show, like throw the toast and throw the fucking.
You're right now. You're just talking about theater kids, which yeah.
But I'm not. I mean, like there's that, but then there's like the 40-year-old, the 45-year-old guy who like
Yeah.
has nothing to do with any of it, who just really likes Rocky Horror and just really likes calling Janet a slut. And then they'll come up with their own stuff to say that's just like, just shut up, dude. Just shut up. It's 45 years already. You can't just keep making fucking new shit up. Like, come on. It's not even good.
Yeah.
But it's a fun time. I definitely recommend if it ever happens again.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
I hope it does. I mean, Disney owns it now, so they might decide not to.
Yeah, because Disney does not like the gays.
And they like locking their shit away in the vault.
Yeah, like you know the whole Disney, like there's the whole Walt Disney Gay Day.
No, I did not know that.
Like they'll go to, or it's just like a bunch of queer fellas will go to like Magic Kingdom for a day or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, Disney does not endorse that, but they'll take their money. They will
Of course
not
not.
make any mention of it being Gay Day.
No, they won't. Because they don't want to offend anybody.
Yep.
Another line that was weird, I'm going to say, I'm just 7 hours old and my libido hasn't been controlled.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's a quote from Rocky himself.
Outside of the context of the movie, that would be felony.
Yeah. But he's already built like a man, and he talks or sings like a man, I guess, so whatever, fuck your mind.
You're getting into a whole sort of like libertarian consent law thing that we should not get into.
Look, Frankenfurter just wanted to make a man, and he literally made a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still really like this. I think I enjoy it now, especially for the old movie references.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really into drag or anything, so like I just see a lot of cheap feather boas and like fishnets, and I'm just like, I feel like you could do better, Frank. But it was the 70s.
And that's still the culture of drag.
I know. You could do better.
It's kind of like saying a lo-fi grunge band. Yeah, you could do better production.
You're right. I'm being too judgmental. I guess and if that's like the language, if that's like the tools of construction, that's the point. Then it's the feather boas. It's all right. That's fair. And one more thing.
There's nothing quite like those just plastic feather boas.
I suppose. Oh well, what do you want to talk about next? Unless you want to, I don't know. Do you want to have some kind of end cap thing for this? I don't know.
No, let's just move on because we got 4 movies to talk about. We talked about one, and it's been 30 minutes.
I think it's the one that is the most relevant to the podcast, at least.
Yeah.
All right, what do you want to talk about next?
So let's go to Night of the Living Dead.
Classic, public domain classic.
I watched it on YouTube.
I got the Criterion version. I had to.
Because you're the film major.
Yes, I am the film guy. And the print, the digital restoration 4K is very good. It looks amazing.
That's good.
For a movie that has seen hundreds and hundreds of releases over the years, see it like done up in official George Romero seal of approval quality is very nice.
Yeah.
I was looking into it. I was very amused to find out that the Walter Reed organization put it out, and they're responsible for the fuck up about the public domain thing. But that's kind of the risk you run when you're an indie production like that back then, I guess.
Yeah.
You just kind of get whoever you can to put it out, and who knows how much they know about film business.
Yeah.
But let's see. I think it was in the '70s that the copyright laws changed, and like I think copyright became more inherent. Like you didn't literally have to have it in the credits to count. Like you just had a copyright period.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
And then also debuted the month before the official rating system that we have now came out.
Yeah.
So literally 1 month before, so kids could go see this in theaters, and they should have. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
How many times have you seen it, or is it your first time?
This is actually my first time watching it.
What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I love what George Romero was trying to say about like how humans are the real monster.
Yeah.
And the ending, I was not expecting that.
The ending goes for it.
Yeah, how they just everybody dies. Everybody.
Yeah, and Ben dies in the worst way of all.
Yeah, just shout in the face.
Because they don't even know who is and who isn't a zombie.
Yeah. And that's when man is the real monster.
It is, I believe, the first major horror movie, if not one of the first major Hollywood, or not even Hollywood, just like movies in general, to have like a black man in the lead.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a Sidney Poitier type of role.
It's also the beginning of zombie horror.
Yeah. Cinematic zombiness. Even though they never say zombie in the movie.
No. The dead have begun to live.
They say ghouls, that's the closest they get.
Yeah.
That fucking guy, that fucking hairy guy, really always pisses me off.
Yeah.
He just looks like a Republican.
You're probably not wrong.
He acts like one too. He's like, fuck you, I got mine. I'm gonna stay in my fucking little basement. All y'all do your thing.
And then his wife yells at him. Like,
yeah.
A radio up there.
His wife was great. I really enjoyed her.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Barbara role? Because that's kind of like the ultimate opposite of that.
Yeah. I'm a woman and I'm useless.
Yeah, I will say I think it was probably the best use of that I've seen still. Where you could actually like see it actually affected her. And like it actually, made her go into shock.
Yeah.
Like she acted it out and they gave her time to do so.
Yeah, it's not just Scream Queen.
Right. Like she tries, like
she does.
Like all the scenes of her like just kind of like walking in and out of rooms and like there's that scene where Ben is like getting tools together in the kitchen and she just like has a knife in her hand. She's like, "Look, I'm helping."
Yeah, she's on the ice box.
Yeah. It's like her little contribution.
Yeah.
And she just kind of sees and she just kind of takes it away. Other great scenes. The fucking truck blowing up.
Oh yeah.
The whole like because it's like the thing is like they have a plan on the movie and they go to execute the plan, which is they're gonna get some gas and get out of that house. And it goes wrong. It actually goes wrong and the characters die.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful, like, little... Like, actual actions have actual consequences.
Yeah.
And what else did you
not
like?
Like The Walking Dead, where...
Oh, no.
You walk around for a season and maybe a character dies and it's the biggest tragedy ever.
And you could tell that The Walking Dead was inspired by this, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything is. Every zombie thing is.
Oh, yeah. And George Romero hates them all except Shaun of the Dead.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We should do George Romero's Martin at some point. It's very good. It's like kind of like this, but for vampires.
But yeah, George Romero only liked Shaun of the Dead because it was most true to his vision of humans are the real monsters.
Yeah, it's like zombies, I guess, are cool and fun to kill, but that's never been the point ever.
Yeah.
Even in like Dawn of the Dead, that was never the point.
No.
It's just sad that he had to keep making the Dead movies because that's what made him money.
Yeah.
What else did you like?
Some of the practical effects were phenomenal, like when Ben goes up the stairs and sees the zombie face.
Yeah, and it's like, why has it not come to life? Probably because the head smashed in or something like that. Maybe it's just too old. It's hard to know.
You just see its eye and all that.
Yeah. I appreciated the whole attention on like radio broadcasting and like TV broadcasting to kind of like show the outside world and what they're doing. It's very like realistic about it, which is always what I appreciate.
It's probably the most realistic look at zombies we've had so far.
Also appreciate that there's no romance in the movie.
Oh no, I really appreciate that.
Even among the people that are married, there's like no there's one little romance between Judy and what's his name, Tom or whatever. And she's like, I'm gonna go with him. Like and then she runs to the fucking truck and just screws up the plans. And then she gets caught in the truck, and it's her fault they blow up.
Yep.
Like, that's really just putting a whole kibosh of romance at that point.
Yeah.
But like, it'd be so easy to sexualize Barbara or something, and they just don't.
Yeah. And like, when she passes out on the couch, it would have been really easy to show her being taken advantage of or whatever. But no, he just takes the jacket off, lets her breathe a little bit more.
Yeah. And it's like there's definitely like a message to that too, because it's like the 60s, and here's this black man with a white woman alone.
Yeah.
And it's like, that some people are going to think that he's going to take advantage of her or something, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And as the story goes, I believe, like, Ben was not like cast or was not written to be black or anything. It was just a character. Dwayne Jones happened to be the best actor who auditioned.
We're going to get into that too with Alien. Because all of the roles for Alien were written to be gender neutral.
Right. Which I appreciate. I would love to do that at some point myself.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun idea. But like, this has all the zombie staples, and I think it still works better here because it just seems very genuine here.
Yeah.
Like the whole Molotov cocktails bit, like, get that in like fucking Left 4 Dead, and it feels better here.
It does.
You have the whole thing about the kid being bitten, and she's gonna turn, and she does. Like, that's a thing you see everywhere. The fucking Dawn of the Dead remake with the baby is like a zombie or whatever.
Yeah, and you also got like the Walking Dead Telltale game,
which is a good game, but this is better.
I played it recently. Better than the TV show. That's not.
But the funny thing is that Harry ends up being right in the end. The cellar is the best place to be.
Yeah.
Ben had just stayed there, he wouldn't have gotten shot. Well, at least you hope he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I know. I think that, like, even among like important movies, I think there are so few movies that are so endlessly copied, like Night of the Living Dead is. Like, everything it sets up, like a thing people take from.
Yeah.
They shoot it in the head, set it on fire. I think. Go ahead.
To an extent, he kind of took that from like vampires.
Yeah. And I don't know how much he took from like voodoo zombie stuff. I'm sure maybe some of that's probably in there too.
Yeah, I don't know much about voodoo zombies.
I like that the child has one line, and it's very bad. I hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, kid, just say what you feel. I hurt. And then you don't speak again.
Honestly, that's like the most that a kid would say that. It feels genuine.
I mean, I don't know about that personally. I don't know if I would say that, but if you believe it, that's good.
Kids are idiots.
I think the only other movie that really has that kind of influence on like a specific subgenre of film is Alien itself.
Yeah.
Because there are so many movies that rip off Alien, and I hate most of them.
But Alien is so good.
I did not watch Alien for a long time because I was so afraid I was going to hate it because I'd seen so many ripoffs.
Yeah, this was your first time watching Alien, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
We'll get into that next.
Is there much else you want to say about Night of the Living Dead? It's still great.
Yeah, still great. Fucking 50 years later, 52 years later.
I watched the Night of Anubis recut thing, which is like the work print that they make when they just edit all the footage together. Before actually editing it into Night of the Living Dead, and it was not that different. It was fine. It was interesting seeing like all the cuts, like because in a work print they don't like smooth over the cuts, so you can see like all the scotch tape and all that stuff left in. So you can kind of see like where like what frame they started like a dissolve or like a crossfade or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a nice little handy lesson in like old school editing.
Yeah, that's a lost art.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't know. I also had some really good POV shots in this movie too. Where was it? I want to make sure I wanted to call that out because all four of these movies had great POV shots. And all four movies had some really weird parallels.
Yeah, just unintentional.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. They're coming to get you, Barbara, is a classic line.
Coming to get you.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. Anyway. There's some great POV shots in here. I just remember that much.
Yeah.
Oh, the eating scene of Tom and Judy is still very gross.
Yeah.
It is very effective. Like more than like a human centipede even is, I think.
Yeah. It's very much a less is more.
It's it's like sound heavy and like the footage of it is so frank about it. Like they're just gnawing on what looks like chicken. It's like Rocky Horror and that they're fucking eating Eddie. And there's these zombies are just eating people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know like which one I like the most so far. Maybe Rocky Horror and Night of the Living Dead, but it's hard to say. Maybe Alien. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's talk about Alien because that was your pick.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
It's got such a build up for such a payoff.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that. I did not.
There's no aliens for like the first half of the movie.
Yeah, I did not realize how sparse it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but the simplicity really works.
Yeah, because with horror, the less you see, the more scared you are.
But I think the corollary with that is you have to really ingrain the audience into the world of the movie.
Yes, and Alien does that perfect.
Right. So once you get in with the characters, then you can do what you need to.
Yes. And some of the film tricks they did for the Alien are just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, there's the scene where he crawls through the vent.
Yeah.
They filmed him crawling backward and reversed it. So that's why it looks so unsettling.
It was very unsettling. Was that the scene where he like throws out his hands, basically?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that was a very creepy shot.
Yeah. And H.R. Giger, got to talk about him. Just his incredible work with designing the alien.
Yeah. Like everything. It was amazing. Like the set design, the creature design,
the alien ship.
Ship design.
So like you have that ancient alien that's just kind of fossilized with his chest burst out in the chair.
And like the mist laser that's like kind of liquidy, kind of not.
Yeah.
That is still really unique and cool.
Yeah, Ridley Scott could direct a sci-fi movie.
And I'm not a fan of Blade Runner, so I was very surprised how much I like this.
I love
Blade. I did not get into Blade Runner. I saw like at least 2 or 3 different cuts of it. But that's another thing. This is so much better.
Yeah, Alien is a certified classic.
And like,
and you just Go ahead.
Because you talked about how all the characters were written gender neutral, and because they all have like just names,
Yeah.
like they could be like last names. You don't know. You kind of assume maybe they are, like Dallas, for example.
Ripley is a last name.
Right, it's like Sarah Ripley, isn't it?
Ellen.
Ellen Ripley. Ellen. But it works so well because there's so few characters. Like the movie straight up tells you how many characters there are. There's like 7.
Yep.
Like the opening text, there's 7 crew members. You just get to learn all 7 of these people.
And the cat.
And Jones. I'm very glad Jones made it.
Yes.
I will say the first time I watched this, because I saw this twice. First time I watched it, I fell asleep so hard
I can see that.
because I was very tired, and it was a very slow moving movie, and I was just not in the right frame of mind for it.
Yeah, it's a slow burn.
And it was very bad because I thought Jones turned into the alien at the end.
Oh, imagine if that was the only time you saw the movie.
Yeah,
And
because
like other people are talking about it and you're just confused.
it's like I saw the shot of the alien looking at the cage, and I fell asleep for that. And then I kind of woke up for when the alien kind of burst out again. Like I kind of seen when Jones was like put into the little chamber later on, but I kind of missed the whole thing of like that they were not related at all. So I'm glad I watched it again and took notes because I did enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
Like I fall asleep just because I'm tired. Like I fall asleep during things I like. I could fall asleep anywhere.
I've been there.
But going back to it, like all the actors in this movie are so recognizable and like they're all distinct, which is I think really really important. None of them look like each other.
No.
Which I think that's like the downfall of a lot of movies is that they all just kind of look like generic white dudes or something like that.
Every video game from 2009 to 2012.
Yeah. Like, but it's like I've seen Ghost Ship, I've seen Virus, seen Event Horizon, seen more for sure. I can't name them all right now, but they all just seem so tunnel focused on doing this concept. Or the thing that I think that really works in Alien is that it just kind of seems to happen randomly.
Yeah.
It like the trick is that it's not, but it feels very organic.
Yeah, like how they discover the acid and how dangerous it is.
Right. But you got like they all wake up because the ship is rerouted. Then it's like, oh, it's doing its own thing. They get to the alien planet. They get to that alien ship. They see what they see. They bring back the face hugger, and then they leave. It's not about being trapped on there, which I think
No,
a lot of the other movies go for.
because the mission of the crew was to bring back an alien.
Right. But so many other movies get trapped in like, oh, they're on the boat and they gotta stay on the boat. They're trapped on the boat.
Prometheus did it to an extent too.
I guess the Abyss is kind of an alien kind of thing, but I also like the Abyss. It's different enough, I think.
There's a couple audio dramas that kind of go for the alien vibe too.
I played a ton of video games that go for the alien vibe.
Did I tell you about the time I played Alien Isolation and I pissed my pants?
No, I did not know. You did not tell me that.
It was the last time I played like a true horror game. I was playing Alien Isolation, and the Working Joes. I was running away from them because I had angered them somehow.
Mm.
I think I hit one with a wrench accidentally, and I got into the elevator and I'm like, oh, I'm safe. So I set the controller down and like exhaled, and all of a sudden I just get attacked. And I just freak out and just like actually like I relieve myself. Not even joking.
You have the worst luck with that stuff.
I do.
That's impressive. I played Man of Medan last year. That's just alien on a ship. There's a great visual novel called Distress that I played, which is just it's alien in space with crew. It's kind of the same thing but different.
Prey.
My problem with it is that it is such a very specific scenario that you
Yeah.
can't help but not feel like it's a ripoff.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that have to happen that have to come together. Like I think the difference between like an alien plot and like a zombie plot is that zombies can appear anywhere. You can do a lot of different things with zombies.
Yeah.
Like as overplayed as the genre is, all you need is just for zombies to exist, and you can just do whatever.
Yeah, like you could have zombies in space.
Yeah. The problem with an alien kind of plot is that it requires so many things to get started. There's so few tracks you can go on.
Yeah, I think one of the best reinterpretations of the alien plot that I've seen, or listened to rather, was on Wolf 359. It's an audio drama where at one point a plant starts taking over, and they have to hunt down the plant and find that and kill that.
Okay.
It's all told in audio dramas, and one of the crew members thinks that the crew member hunting the plant is crazy and that it doesn't exist, and it becomes kind of like a Moby Dick kind of thing.
Okay. I'm down with that.
But the biggest thing about it is that it isn't the main plot.
Yeah. It's not the main plot?
No, Wolf 359 is like there's several different plots going on at once. Like
Okay.
one episode, they hear a knocking on the outside of the spaceship by the airlock,
Okay.
and they have to figure out if it's one of their guys or what the hell it is, and they never answer it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
Let's see what else. Um, I had known through like just pop culture that Ash was an alien, but the reveal is still very good. Or Ash is a robot. I mean,
Yeah,
it's still very unsettling when he goes crazy for some reason. I don't know why he goes haywire, but he does. Did they explain that early?
I don't think so.
He just starts freaking
I
out.
don't really remember.
But he starts like spitting up milk, and that is very unsettling.
Yeah.
Like even now, just spitting up milk, just like. And then like the head.
Too hard at the lunch table.
Yeah, and like the head comes out, and like when they reanimate the head, it's very good.
Yeah.
He's like, it's kind of like a thing. It's like the Eddie prop. You know that that's fake.
Yeah.
But unlike the Eddie corpse thing, dummy, the head and all that looks very good. Like when it's not talking, and you know it's not literally Ian Holm. Also, Frodo or Bilbo. Who was the older one in The Hobbit?
Bilbo.
His last role was Bilbo, The Hobbits.
Yeah, because Frodo was Elijah Wood.
Right. So having Bilbo there be all like that was very cool. Also gotta love the fucking 70s technology.
Yeah, I love retro future.
I think ironically it looks better than Tron.
Yeah. Well,
And
Tron looked kind of like shit.
I love Tron. I love Tron's aesthetic.
Tron is great. Tron is great.
Like Tron is like almost vaporwave level. It looks shitty kind of, but I also love how shitty it looks.
Shitty in the best possible way.
Yeah, it's and then like
as like not a movie as it was more just like a music video for an album.
Which is fine.
Tron Legacy.
Which is fine.
Yes, it's just like a 2-hour long Daft Punk video.
And movies can be anything they want. They can be a lot of things. If it's 2 hours of music video, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get to Interstellar 555.
Yeah, we gotta do that eventually.
Yeah, I think we should do that for the 20th anniversary.
I gotta get a copy. I absolutely have to get a copy.
Yeah, so do
I did read that the role of Ripley was either going to be Meryl Streep or Sigourney Weaver.
Do you know how Sigourney Weaver got the role?
How?
She went into the audition wearing like the skimpiest outfit she could find and boots that went up to like her hips.
Okay.
And like just went in dressed like a slut to try and make like an impression.
it worked, I guess.
It did.
And I always knew that like Alien was the inspiration for Metroid, but I did not realize how much of it was until seeing this.
Oh yeah.
Everything about it.
Metroid is just Alien the game.
Oh yeah, Metroid is also naturally the Alien plot, but also done very, very well.
Oh yeah.
Like it does it in a way that does not feel like a ripoff. That is the thing.
That's one of the few games I own on NES cartridge.
Yeah, I should own that eventually. But the whole thing where she takes off her clothes at the end, it's literally just the ending of Metroid.
Yeah.
Or like the planet crawl at the beginning. They just go across the planet and you have all the title cards. Metroid does that, I'm pretty sure.
The map. Oh, I love map. Such a lost art.
The best one is the wide shot of like the alien ship. The architecture is very, very good.
Oh yeah.
Especially because it's very effective because they show you a lot of close-up shots. And this is the thing about editing too. Now, so much of it is POV and like close-up. Like they have like that shitty they're like someone has a camera on their body, like a body cam thing, which is really cool for the 70s to even attempt that.
Yeah.
But they have all that stuff. They show you a lot of close-up shots of like them walking through the planet, and then they have that beautiful, beautiful like map painting. Just like look at the architecture from just super far away. Super effective.
Yeah, map painting is an art that is lost, if you ask me. Because like Star Wars, just like all the detail in the map painting.
Yeah.
It looked more real than like CGI.
Absolutely.
And it'll come back to me.
But like there's a lot to learn from Aliens still. I think some people have taken maybe the wrong lessons from it, like you know, how they should do their horror. I think the things to take away from this are more in the realm of like this is how you make a lot of great cause and effect. This is how you like. I see it in Metroid cartridges. It's very nice. Like this is why you hold off on showing the wide shot that establishes the scene because you want to impress people. So you show a lot of close-ups. You try to show them other things first, like how cramped and crowded it could be, like the alien planet. That they're not getting really good looks at anything because they're all so low to the ground. And then you gotta wow them. Big shot.
Yeah, the movie is incredibly claustrophobic in the best possible.
Yes.
Like without the claustrophobia, it would not be.
Like you don't get a scale for how big that ship really is.
No. It could be tiny, it could be huge, you don't know.
Right. Also, like kind of like Night of the Living Dead, it has like a subtle story about Ripley's fight to be heard.
Yeah. I think also as a fun fact, I could be wrong on this, but I think for the chestburster scene, they didn't exactly tell the other actors what was going on in that scene.
Right.
So it's all genuine reaction.
I heard that. The funny thing is though that the first time they did it, they failed, so they had to do it again. And both of them are in the scene because there's the first time when he just kind of like there's like a little bit of blood, a little bit at the chest, but it doesn't go through all the way.
Yeah.
I think that was like the first attempt, and then they had to do it again. They just like tried it again, and finally went through. But it works so well together because it just seems like it's struggling to get out.
Yeah, trying to break the sternum.
Right, and it's very effective because it is so very visceral and like taps into that like Mpreg is very weird.
And is a fetish for some people that is just weird.
It's like having that kind of thing happen is so like unsettling to see and have it seen done so naturalistically.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the thing of like a lot of these classics like Night of the Living Dead, like Alien, the thing to learn from them is that they don't go full Hollywood ever.
No.
The Hollywood style, like, it ruins some of the stuff. It makes it too highfalutin. It makes it too fucking obvious sometimes.
Yeah,
Your
like
eyes glaze
another
over.
good example is the original Terminator.
Right.
That was filmed pretty much entirely guerrilla.
Right.
Like James Cameron was hunting down these specific lights, the blue lights, so that he could give his scenes like a certain vibe to them.
Uh-huh.
Nothing was filmed with permits, and he would just show up to like a parking lot late at night and film Arnold Schwarzenegger covered naked in Vaseline.
And Terminator is really great.
Yeah,
Better than T2.
it's a little goofy with the with like the the stop motion, but
Sure.
T2 has visual effects over T1.
But T2 also has fucking John Connor.
Yeah, you're right.
So, like, I'd rather watch Terminator. Anyway. But I think that is the ultimate lesson to take away from Alien and 9/11. That is that what works for them so well is that they feel like they really could happen. They feel like these are just normal people reacting to a normal situation. Or, like, an abnormal situation, I guess. Where the things that are, like, weird and, like, supernatural are presented as such. You know, there's no, like, Hollywood filmmaking to it. Right? There's weird conveniences. You know, there's a weird thing throughout. It's like, these are logical working people, and then there's this abnormal situation.
Yeah, if we do this again next year, I think one of the movies we should get to is John Carpenter's The Thing.
It's love to see that. Fog is very good.
The Thing is real good.
Yeah.
That's a great example of never knowing what the monster.
You know, I think the thing that horror gets so wrong sometimes is that jump scares and all that stuff isn't scary if the audience knows what's going to happen. Like, sure, you can argue that, oh, they get scared anyway because they expect it and it's just so effective. If it's done super well, yes, okay, I'll agree with you. A lot of horror movies don't do it very well because they rely so much on being a horror movie.
Jump scares are.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cut out.
Jump scares are incredibly cheap, if you ask.
Yeah. I'll say the best jump scare I've seen is in Exorcist 3. Because in that movie, they build up the jump scare. It is not just a cheap thing. They make you expect it, and they make you wait until there's the point when you don't expect it, and that is the point that they give it to you. That is the misdirection that is needed in stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think a lot of good stories, and, like, especially in, like, comedy and horror that are so genre specific, and, like, you have a lot of people in the audience who are going to know exactly what this is and what you're doing. So you need to be able to lead them and guide them to some place where they're going to be thrown off balance. You're going to know you're not going to know what they're going to do. Then the movie twists in a way that makes it satisfying because you did something they didn't expect. You got them, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm talking a lot. I am the film guy, so, like,
it's fine.
Tell me more about what you like about Alien.
But yeah, what I like most about Alien is just really like the atmosphere and the vibe.
Yeah.
There's just a lot to it, like a lot of good. It's simultaneously a great science fiction movie and a great horror movie, and not too many have done that.
Yeah. Like, it was so easy to make Alien just like some sci-fi cheapo shit. But
Yeah,
Ridley Scott is better than that. He's made it a movie first. He made it something that, means something and, like, is effective.
definitely.
And that's what I appreciate. Like, I think, like, all the ingredients are there, and, like, you just needed the person to kind of get it across the finish line. Like, and it's such, like, a small cast. You just needed someone with the right vision for the effects and for the designs.
Yeah, because this is really just like a dream team in terms of like sci-fi movies. Because you've got like H.R. Geiger doing like the main monster design,
Right.
and you got Ridley Scott directing.
But, like, at the same time, though, that was not a dream team at the time.
No, it's not. but
Ridley,
in hindsight, it is.
right. This is Ridley Scott's second movie. His first movie, The Duelist, is very good. I really enjoyed it, but that was like a period piece. That's like a 1800s kind of thing. So jumping into sci-fi like this is a very huge risk, especially for someone's second movie. It was, I think, Fox's next big sci-fi movie after Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which I believe makes sense if you think about, like, okay, Star Wars did super well. Whatever movie can we make in the same genre that's going to make money? Oh, this thing. Okay, we'll try it. And it worked out.
Yeah.
It was very easy to let it fail. They tried to make it too much like Star Wars, but they were very smart about it and just let the director and the writers do their thing.
Yeah.
Especially the director.
It's very much a it's funny that it's like, because of Star Wars it exists, but it's nothing like Star Wars.
Right. And
like
so
Star
many
Wars is a space opera. It's samurai cowboys in space with daddy issues.
Right.
And this is just you're trapped on a ship with an alien.
Yeah. And the thing I think people, especially nowadays, need to realize is that you're not going to make the next Alien. You're not going to make the next Star Wars. You're not going to make the next Night of the Living Dead by doing the same things they did. You can like do different takes on them, like Shaun of the Dead, for example. You could still find new ground to cover, but those things have been done.
I always feel that if you go into the mindset of we're going to make the next blank, you're going to fail.
Right. Like Star Wars did not get there by just being, or we're going to make a Star Wars, you know. Alien didn't get there because like we're gonna make Alien this way. No, they just made a project and it happened to be very good. They got the visionary team designing it. They got the right writers. They got the right director. They got the right cast. That is the way you make a new Star Wars. That is the way you make a new Alien. You have the vision. You commit to it. You find the best people for it, and then you release it.
Lightning in a bottle.
Right. You need to just have that vision though to create something as fresh, as different, as new as these were at that time.
Yeah.
It's why I appreciate The Great Gatsby, the DiCaprio one, where Baz Luhrmann decided I'm not going to just put jazz on the soundtrack. I'm going to put hip hop on the soundtrack. Because hip-hop today is kind of like what jazz was back then in terms of how people reacted to it and how it made them feel.
The Negro music.
There is that. But, like, people, like, the things they were feeling about jazz and the way jazz defined the 20s, you're not going to feel that today.
No, you're not.
So to transpose the feeling that Baz Luhrmann wanted to create, the way to kind of bring you into the scene was by using hip-hop as, like, the equivalent like king medium of today in music. So I think it was very effective because of that, because he was trying to get the feeling, not the literal representation.
Definitely.
I think that should be applied here. Is like you want people to get the feeling of like this is an amazing movie. This is this is great. I really like this. But you don't literally want to do the same thing. You want to find something new to bring them to that same place without repeating.
Yes.
I have a lot of film opinions that I think some people find controversial, but I think make sense to me. if you follow the whole I want to get into Hollywood and do what Hollywood does, you kind of get trapped in a lot of like derivative ideas and a lot of doing the same things over and over because you can, because it makes money.
Yeah, because Hollywood is just the definition. Because it makes.
And the Alien franchise itself, from what I understand, became that.
Yeah, Prometheus was pretty good. I haven't seen anything after. Alien 3 was sad.
I mean, that's a David Fincher movie, and David Fincher is considered one of the best directors ever now. It starts somewhere.
It's also considered one of the worst Alien movies.
Yeah, and the fourth one was made by the guy who made Amelie, one of the best regarded French films ever made. So
Resurrection was not.
It has the very weird distinction of having every movie made by a visionary director, kind of like Mission Impossible. Except Mission Impossible eventually settled on one guy, and Alien only worked twice to have the visionaries make the movie.
Well, I think Prometheus was brutally.
That was Ridley Scott. That and Alien Covenant.
Yeah, I haven't seen Covenant yet.
And he said he's gonna make another or two. We'll see if that happens.
Alien and Blade Runner are in the same universe, according to Ridley Scott.
Sure, they are. Whatever. It doesn't matter very much.
No, it doesn't. But
Alien is the better movie.
2049 was pretty good.
I haven't seen that. I am curious to see it, but I did not like the original Blade Runner.
I really liked the original Blade Runner, but I'm a sucker. It's a film noir with a sci-fi backdrop.
There's some cool stuff in it, but there's something about. I guess I just am very divided on Ridley Scott movies because The Duelist is very good, Alien's very good, but I've seen like Black Rain, I've seen Blade Runner. I didn't care for either of those.
The Martian was okay.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Gladiator.
I preferred the book of The Martian.
Yeah.
I bought that on Kindle when it was
What dollar you said?
Yeah, I'm a hipster to the.
I mean, sometimes I read the book before I watch the movie. I think that's fun.
Well, no, I read it years before the book even got popular.
Oh, just because?
Yeah, because it was like $1 sci-fi book.
Oh, that's cool. That's actually really fun.
Yeah. And so to me, it was like an indie sci-fi book, and then it turned into this big thing, and I'm like, oh shit. And in later editions, they actually cut out a scene of the book in the book.
Oh no!
At the end of the first edition of the book, he's on a park bench after escaping Mars. And he's like, and one of the kids, and a kid comes up to him at the university. He's like, it's like a little kid. It's like, would you ever go to Mars again? Fuck no.
What did they change it to?
They just cut that scene entirely.
Oh fuck. Well, I guess nothing's perfect. Alien's pretty great though.
Alien is great.
I think like the way Metroid copies it without making it seem like a direct ripoff is wonderful. Especially when you have like the whole thing where she escapes, but she doesn't quite escape. There's one more confrontation.
Yep.
It's like a fourth act of a movie. That's breaking structure. That's very good. See, breaking structure can work if you do it effectively and you do have a reason for it, or you just feel it is correct. And in this case, it was very correct.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about Alien?
It's a good movie.
It's very good. Now here's the thing. We've covered 2 classic horror movies. Alien, Night of the Living Dead. Covered 1 cult classic movie, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Now for a horror B movie.
Yeah. My other pick, besides, what was my other pick? Rocky Horror. Psychic Killer.
Yeah. This was a weird movie.
All about killing people with astral projection.
Yeah.
I really like this. I think it is very bizarre. It's strange. But also kind of...
not really understand it first time watching. I'm sure if I watched it 1 or 2 times, I'd get it more.
What was hard to understand?
I just kind of the whole plot as a whole. Like I understood that it was he was killing everybody that like did him wrong that ended up in the
Right.
But like I in the moment it was hard to piece that together.
Oh, well, I'll explain this one a little bit because if people listen to this, they might not know Psychic Killer like they might know the other ones. Psychic Killer is about this guy named Arnold who's institutionalized, as we find out wrongly, because they say he killed his mother's doctor, but he didn't. And then while he has like a lot of violent outbursts and stuff after he finds out that his mother died after not being cared for, and he has like a whole attack, like a whole panic, nervous breakdown attack thing. It's actually very realistic and very violent, very scary to watch. Like I think it was surprisingly effective, the institutional scenes, because they were actually pretty decent to him, like the staff.
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Hey, are you okay? You want something like an aspirin for your headaches or whatever?" They were very nice to him. But anyway, he's institutionalized. He comes across this guy Emilio, who is in there for killing his daughter. Like he just straight up talks about it. Very
because she was a whore.
Straight up, just she was a whore. And then he's just like, and then Arnold tells him his troubles, and he's like, all right, well, here's what's gonna happen: is that the day before I die, I'm gonna kill my daughter's pimp. The day after I die, I will help you. And you don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Arnold in his cell. Emilio's in the cell across from him, and Arnold just watches Emilio astral project to kill the pimp. And I don't know exactly how he figured out how to do it just by watching, but he does.
I think the amulet had something.
Yeah, the amulet might have had something to do with it. There's an amulet. They don't really go into it, which is fine, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Emilio kills the pimp, and then he has now done his job. So he just vaults over the fence of the roof of the institution and just jumps to his death.
And there's a very obvious dummy they throw off, which I appreciate.
Yeah. But again, very, very blunt and realistic about it, too. Like, he said he's going to do it, he did it, now he's done. There's not build up. They just, things happen, and then things keep happening. They tell you they're going to happen, so you expect it, but then you don't quite expect that it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
So, once that is done, Arnold then attempts his own astral projection. But as you find out, then, when you astral project and you kind of send your soul out to do your bidding, your body basically is dead. So, in Arnold's cell, then, they find him and they think he's dead, and they try to do an autopsy on him to figure out why, at which point he wakes up again. And through both that and through the coincidental realization that, no, he did not kill his mother's doctor, Arnold is released. And I thought that was very suspiciously timed.
Yeah, somebody comes in and confesses the crime.
And I think it was because he did something, probably. Because astral projection. Because he gets a newspaper clipping that says, "Oh, this pimp died," and he's like, "Oh, Emilio killed the pimp." So obviously he made the guy confess or something like that. And I think that bureaucratic, like, institutional doctor guy probably just wanted him out of there to begin with. It's like, they did an autopsy on a guy who was still alive, technically. And it probably looks bad.
Yeah.
But then he gets let out, and you think at first that Arnold is going to be fine. He seems to be adjusting, but he really isn't. And he just spends the rest of the movie astral projecting and killing people.
Yeah, and killing the people who got him in the prison.
Right.
Like the nurse.
The nurse who took care of his mother while he was away and left her to die, basically.
Yeah.
The lawyer who helped him plead insanity. The psychiatrist who declared him insane or something. The arresting officer. A whole list of people.
Also, one thing I want to mention, just about like 70 movies.
Yeah.
What is it with the unnecessary TNA?
I don't know. It's, that's just how you get people to come and see it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's gonna be a horror movie. Some chick's gonna get her tits out.
Yeah. But I do think, well, here's the thing, is that, number one, I think the lead actor, Jim Hutton, is very good.
Yeah, it was his last role.
Yeah, he died of cancer very early, and his son, Tim Hutton, became a very well-known actor in his own right. But, like, to be in your 40s and this is, like, your last role, and I think it, like, for a B movie, it is very good performance. Like, he genuinely plays Arnold like a character, and not just, like, some B movie trope.
Definitely.
Like, the thing I really appreciated this time watching it was the way that Arnold interacts with, like, people in the real world, of, like, all the like the social cues and, like, all the things you're meant to do, like, to be polite. They always take him, like, an extra second. Like, he'll stand there for just, like, a half a second, and then be like, "Oh, did you want something to drink?" He's always very polite, but there's something there, and it's like this paradox of, like, well, he was innocent. He didn't kill his mother's doctor, but is he still screwed up somehow? Was it because he was institutionalized? Was it just a coincidence? It's not really clear.
Yeah.
But the death scenes themselves are very creative and very effective. Which one was your favorite?
I really like the creativity of the shower scene.
Yeah.
Just, like, crank it on max and send her through the glass.
Yeah, because like they establish that the nurse is very shitty, very horrible. Like she's just making fun of her patient in the movie who's like a terminal cancer patient who can barely move, and she's like doing her whole routine of like, oh, don't stare at me like that, all the while just like fucking teasing him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. It's like, why the fuck would you shower at your patient's house, first of all? Unless, like, something really bad happened, I guess. But even then, there's must be some kind of protocol of that.
Wasn't it like a hotel or an apartment complex or something?
And it was probably his apartment. Guy's apartment.
Because I remember they were talking about like the apartment, the hot water heater seemed normal or something.
Yeah, like the landlord or whatever finally had to break in because the water was leaking through.
Yeah.
Yeah, just crank that shower on max, like beyond max. Just make it scalding. And it just kills the nurse, and she just flies through the glass door and just.
I wish I could get my shower that hot.
Yeah. But like, there's that. I also really appreciated the car scene.
Yeah.
Where the arresting officer is in his car, and it just goes fast, and it just keeps going faster and faster and faster, and he can't do anything about it. And then you have like the highway cop going after him, and he just goes over a cliff.
Yep.
And it's like, it's a very simple but effective idea of like, you can't stop your own car. That's actually terrifying.
That's actually like a possibility now with Tesla.
Yeah. But the thing I like about this movie too, the reason like I want to talk about it because I think it's very like, it's natural like the other ones, but it also has some style to it that I liked. But also it's very blunt.
Yeah.
Like there's the cop who figures out that something weird is going on, and he gets on top of it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so like,
go ahead. The whole way the movie opens too. Like with the psychiatric hospital and just the panic.
Yeah. Like it elicits emotions. Like it's a B movie, but it really tries to be a little bit more. But like, it's not just like, okay, we got to figure out what's going on here. They're gonna spend the whole movie trying to tie all these murders together. No, what happens in literally like less than 2 minutes. It's one scene of like the cop being like, hey, this guy was in the Masters case, and this person was doing this in the Masters case, and this person's probably related too. Arnold Masters must have something to do with all these murders. Well, we don't know what.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, then he goes to confront him, and then it's like, well, he can't prove anything, but Arnold sure is acting suspicious. And then the cop just ropes his doctor into it, which I think was very strange.
Yeah.
I don't know what her ethics are exactly, but they don't seem to be very great if she's just willing to start like spying on her patient like that. Also sleeping with the cop.
Yeah.
And then they go to like a parapsychologist, and they start getting into the supernatural stuff of like, he has to explain how it all works. And it's like, you get the scene where they explain to you how and why the person is doing what they're doing. And that's always kind of like a downer. But it was kind of fun, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, what else? What else?
It's one of the best B movies I've seen.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, I did. It's definitely better than B movie.
According to all known laws of aviation, of course. The ending is very good too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, this guy is astral projecting. The cop is like, what are we going to do about it? The cop is then like, okay, wait, so whenever he does this thing, he is dead. He appears to be dead, right? So somehow he rigs it so that all the cops come with him. He gets a coroner in while this guy is astral projecting, and the cop gets him declared dead. They take him away. They put him in a coffin. They go and cremate the fucker. All in like the span of like 10 minutes. And everyone is okay with it. He doesn't have to prove himself, this cop. He doesn't have to like show them how this psychological phenomenon is happening, or this parapsychological phenomenon is happening. He just can do it.
The power of the police force. That's the real horror.
And it's like, yeah, technically he is correct in his suspicions, but like, man, they just let him burn a guy. And then like the scene where like his spirit is manifesting in the real world again when he's like about to burn, is like you see his hair's all gray and his face is all bloody and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very yeah, it's one of those movies that like I know I've never heard of the director really or anything or any of the people really involved. There's a number of interesting scenes, like there's that weird welfare scene
Yeah.
where you just have like a lady arguing with a butcher about the price of meat and like food stamps and stuff in the 70s, and which was like a new thing back then, really. And talking about, well, I didn't vote for him. I think talking about Johnson at that point. Um, and I believe that was Della Reese, who was the angel, the woman in Touched by an Angel.
I have not seen.
I'm not really either. I just know the cover of the DVD or whatever, or like the poster of the show.
Only thing I really know about that is that it was referenced in The Adventure Zone.
Okay. But yeah, I really like Psychic Killer. I think it's a fun watch.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. It's something I would bring out. Like if my friends and I were watching like spooky movies, I'd be like, "Hey, pull up Psychic Killer, not Psycho Killer. That's a Talking Head song."
Yeah. The thing I like about Psychic Killer too is that you understand, like, Arnold is the villain basically,
Yeah.
but they make you sympathize with him and they make you understand him. And they also, like, the movie starts out like, okay, he's institutionalized, you feel bad for him, and then he's free, you feel good for him. Then he starts killing people, and it's like, oh, I don't know how to feel now. Really take you on like a whirlwind of emotion. All right, anything else to say about Psychic Killer?
Wasn't it named initially? I read that idea.
Oh, the original name was the Carillion Force,
Yes.
which I guess Psychic Killer is a better name because it gets the point across. But is it really a better name?
They're both bad names.
Like, Psychic Killer is just like one of those basic ass names that you're surprised it's not taken.
Yeah.
Kind of like Alien in a way.
Yeah. Like I can make this email account hasn't been taken yet?
Yeah, it's like, it describes it, but it also, you could have done something a little bit more fun. Yeah, we kind of got the whole, like, the broad spectrum of horror, I think, in like this little chunk we've done.
Yeah.
Rocky Horror isn't really a horror movie, but it kind of is. It's fun.
Yeah, one of the things I do kind of wish we got was like a real shitty horror movie, like one of like the real bad 50s B movies.
You know, there's always next year. I know a bunch we can always do.
Yeah.
I'm also glad we did both Rocky Horror and Shock Treatment. I did not expect that to get done.
Yeah, in the same year.
No, it's been a year.
Yeah, you're right.
What do you think's your favorite? For?
Of the four, Alien.
Alien's good. Rocky Horror is also good. Different reasons.
I think it would go Alien, Rocky Horror, Night of Living.
And Psychic of Killer last.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think I agree. We're unanimous then. In our once yearly movie podcast episode, Shock Treatment was last year, and these four are this year. We are in agreement.
Yeah, and not all of us watched Shock Treatment last time. I watched it after the fact.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Did we do that episode after we watched it? I can't remember.
We did the episode before I watched it, because I'm like, I just bought it on eBay on a whim after doing the episode. I'm like, I guess I'll watch this, and you just hear me getting pissed about
the makeup.
The makeup.
I still don't know what to make about the different Brads and Janets between the two, because they're very different. Because Cliff DeYoung and Jessica Harper in Shock Treatment do their own good job, I think. But like Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick are just iconic.
Yeah, I feel like Brad and Janet could just be subbed out for anybody, and the plot would still make sense.
I also like that. I think because in Shock Treatment, Denton, where they're from, is in Texas. But I think the implication originally is that Denton is in like Ohio in Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Because I read that because they show a map in Rocky Horror of like where they're going, and,
Yeah, they do.
and from what I've heard, it's a map of Ohio.
Let me pull it up.
So either they drove from Texas to Ohio, which is possible, or Denton was in Ohio and then Denton got moved to Texas.
Let's see here. Yeah, it's not really clear. It's really zoomed in. I'm
Right.
sure I'm on Tumblr right now.
It's meant to be zoomed in because it doesn't super matter. I just thought it was funny because they made such a big deal about Texas.
Yeah.
Are you still looking, or are you good on that?
Yeah, I'm still looking, but
Okay.
yeah, we're good on that.
All right, I think that does it then for this episode. We've run pretty long for a minisode,
Yeah,
but
an hour and 45 minutes.
I like talking movies. I like movies, so I'm always down to give my opinion at the very least because I'm very good at that.
Yeah. I mean, we made a podcast out of it.
Yeah. All right, what are we doing next episode? Another minisode.
Is that our Janelle Monáe?
That is our Janelle Monáe. We're doing the Metropolis saga. We're doing EP Metropolis Suite or Metropolis Part 1, the Chase Suite, I think it's called. Then the Arch Android and the Electric Lady. For her first two albums.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. So get ready. It's like literally like 50 songs about. We're doing the Metropolis the Suite Chase 1 or Chase 1 the Suite special edition. So there's 2 extra songs in there because we're gonna go all out. Or 3 extra songs, I should say.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're gonna go for it. I'm looking forward to this because we have not touched Janelle Monáe since the first episode.
We have not.
And I think you and I both appreciate her, especially Dirty Computer.
Yeah, Dirty Computer was great.
Yeah. So it'll be nice to see how she kind of got to that point because this is pretty much this whole sci-fi saga has been leading up to. Dirty Computer's different, but still similar.
Yeah, it's like the side show.
But like, oh man, she started at 21 doing this stuff. I'm 25 now, and I think she put out the Arc Android at like 25, or maybe Electrically. I think it was the Arc Android. I don't know, either one. Oh man, to be that successful and have that much critical acclaim and that much artistry out there is so incredible.
Yeah, I'm 21 and I have not put out anything.
You put out an EP.
Really that good. I put it out an EP that sucked.
Hey, you know what? Janelle Monáe, I think when she was 17, released her first album, and you can't find it anywhere. It has been buried to death.
I'm sure like one guy has a copy of it.
I think because like I think she just had CDs burned of it. It was just out there. But
that'll be something that'll pop up on Obscure Media.
Yeah,
maybe we'll check that subreddit real quick, see if I can find it.
I think it's called The Audition. Yeah, The Audition, I think.
Nothing on Obscure Media.
Well, if we do find it, maybe we'll cover it in a different episode eventually.
Yeah.
Until then, I have been Dominic. You can catch me online at DACICHOCKI on Twitter. I also write stuff for tiltingwindmillstudios.com. You can find Dissonant Waves also on Twitter at Dissonant Waves. Check out our website, dissonantwaves.space. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube.
Yeah. I've been Trix. You can catch me on Twitter at procrastinaut_. And this is like Procrastinating Astronaut. And also on YouTube at like Moonchild or whatever. There will be a link.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's an hour and 46 minutes and 30 seconds. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.